So determining that firstborn doesn't mean first person created. Now we have to ask, what does firstborn actually mean? Or how should we understand it? And we have to think outside of just being born in the start point, but you got to think through almost a hierarchy of what is most important. And so when it's saying Jesus is the firstborn of all creation, he is the most important. He is above all of creation. All of creation ultimately points to who God is, and ultimately points to who Jesus is as the creator.
Yeah.
Do you have a good one sentence summary of how you would define firstborn?
I think, tagging on to what you've said, I think he is the preeminent one. He is the one who is over all of creation, and he is the first, as in the most important, as God. And of course the word is used in the latter portion about he was the firstborn out from among the dead ones. And so once again, he was the first actually resurrected person. All the people that had been resurrected before Jesus had to die again.
Right.
Lazarus had to die again, and or any of the others that who were brought back from the dead, they all had to die again. But Jesus was the first to actually be resurrected with a glorified body, ready to live in eternity. And again, he is the preeminent one. He is the one who is the most important over all creation.
Certainly. And I think it's important because it does talk about Colossians that he might have preeminence over all things. Someone pointed out, a pastor of mine in the past once pointed out that Jesus is the preeminent one, not the prominent one. And sometimes we think we get a hierarchy, like, okay, so Jesus is first important, and then everything else falls underneath him. Like, so you have first, second, third, fourth, and you can kind of go in an order. But by being preeminent, it means that all things are actually encompassing, all things are inside of who Jesus is. All things point to him as being in charge of everything. So instead of, I know for me, it's easy to have a tendency of first importance, second importance, third importance, but it's more that Jesus has the authority, has first place in every aspect of life. And as it goes through that whole passage, just all the descriptions of Jesus, he's not just prominent, but he's preeminent. He's above, he's before everything in our lives.
Yes, as the eternal one, as you said, John 8:58, that present tense of the verb, I am. Somehow God in his eternality, and Jesus even in his incarnation, was somehow still present in time before Abraham died, which is something we don't have any way to understand, but he was definitely declaring himself as being still eternal, not moving on a line of time. And so he was something very different than any of us can imagine as God in flesh. And he demonstrated his preeminence by the fact that as God, he has control over everything. His miracles seem to obviously point us to that as well.